Once again, good morning class. I am your teacher, Teacher Joker from Culture School. I am handling grade 5/1 and for today, our subject is English. And we are going to study adverb of frequency. But before we start, let's have a review first on our lesson yesterday, which is adverb of frequency, wherein we learn how to use always in a sentence. But before that, what does adverb of frequency mean? Or what is the meaning of adverb of frequency? Can anyone tell me the meaning? Okay, so when we say adverb of frequency, it describes how often an action happens or occur. Okay, so later on, we will be looking into the list of adverb of frequency and its percentage. Now, these are the list of adverbs of frequency. First, we have always, usually, generally, often, sometimes, occasionally, seldom, rarely, and never. Those percentage below tells how often an action occurs or happens. Like for example, our lesson yesterday, we learned about always, right? And we said that if you're going to use always in a sentence, meaning that action verb happens every time. Like for example, I always take a bath. Okay, I always take a bath. Why is it that we use always in the verb take a bath? Because every day we are taking a bath. Okay, it's 100% that we are doing that action. We are doing that action every day. We are taking a bath every day. That's why we use always. Okay? Now to understand more how to use always in a sentence, I have here another examples. Okay, so I'd like you to tell what are the things that you always do at home or at school. So I listed some of those. Okay, example is I always eat food. I always eat food. The verb is eat, and the adverb of frequency that was used is always. The verb is food. And we said that the adverb of frequency describes how often that verb or action verb happens. Meaning, in the sentence, I always eat food, you eat food every day. Okay, you are doing that verb 100%. So since we are eating food 3 times a day or more than, we are going to use always. Okay, so I always eat food. Number 2, I always drink water. Okay, it's the same thing. Every time and then, we are drinking water. That's why we're going to use always, because always tells the percentage or how often you drink water. Okay? And we are drinking water not more than once in a day. Every time we are drinking water. Number 3, I always take a bath. We always do that, right? Not unless you're not taking a bath. Okay, so I always take a bath. Number 4, I always go to bed at night. I always go to bed at night. Every night, we go to sleep, right? That's why we're going to use always. Because every night, we go to bed. Number 5, I always brush my teeth. Okay, 3 times a day, we need to brush our teeth, right? Okay, so we need to use always, not usually. Because if you're going to use usually, meaning you are not brushing your teeth 3 times a day. But if in case you're brushing your teeth once a day or once every other day, then you are going to use usually. But we're going to learn how to use usually in a sentence later on. Okay, so that's all about always. So these are just example of always in a sentence. So I hope everything is clear. But if in case you have questions about our previous topic, you can still ask for today. So now let's proceed to our topic, next topic, which is how to use usually in a sentence. Okay, so as what I've said a while ago, we're going to talk about usually, how to use usually in a sentence. And if always is 100%, usually is 90%. That percent tells how often you are going to use the verb or how often that action verb happens or occur. Okay? So we have here some examples. Number one, I usually go to the market with my sister. Okay, it could be that you go to the market, but it's not every day. It could be uh, every other day. It's not every day like always. Okay? If you are going to use always in this sentence, like for example, you say, I always go to the market with my sister, meaning you go to the market with your sister every day. But if you say, I usually go to the market with my sister, that could be you go to the market every other day. It's not every day. Understand? So that's the difference of always and usually. Another example here is she usually use her tablet. She usually use her tablet. Okay. This means that she don't use her tablet every day or every time. Maybe it could be once in 2 days, like that. Next example, I usually use my laptop. I usually use my laptop. Okay, so we're going to compare again. If I say I always use my laptop, that means every time or every day I use my laptop. But if I say I usually use my laptop, meaning I don't use my laptop every day. It could be every other day. Today I'm going to use, tomorrow I will use, and the next day I will not use. Okay, so that's the difference between always and usually. Number four, he usually eat pizza. He usually eat pizza. Okay, so another, if you're going to use always in here, you say he always eat pizza if every meal you eat pizza. But if you eat pizza once or every other day, or not every day or not every time, you're going to use usually. So it depends on you. Okay, it depends how often you eat pizza. If you eat pizza every day, you're going to use always. But if you don't eat pizza every day, like for example, every other day, you're going to use usually. Okay? So he usually eat pizza. And the last one, we usually go to the mall. We usually go to the mall. It means you don't go to the mall always or every time. Okay? So these are just example of usually in a sentence. Okay, so to understand more on how to use usually in a sentence, I have here some examples. So what are the things that you usually do? Okay, for example, here in number one, I usually wash the dishes. I usually mop the floor. I usually eat spicy foods. I usually drink coffee. I usually play outside. Okay, so the verb here was wash, mop, eat, drink, and play. So you are going to use usually if you do these action verbs. How many percent? 90%. Or you don't do this verb every time or every day. Because if you do, you're going to use always, because always is 100%. Understand? Okay, let's take number 4. For example, I always drink coffee. If you drink coffee not every day, you can use usually, or it depends on you. Okay, or how often you drink coffee. But if you drink coffee every morning, then you need to use always, because you do it every morning, every time you are doing it. Okay? So again, it depends on how often you do the action verb. So these are just sample of usually in a sentence. So for your activity today, I would like you to write 10 sentences using usually. So what are the things that you usually do at home or at school? Okay, so it's up to you. You just need to write 10 sentences using usually. Okay, so please do this one in your notebook, and then after, please read the sentences and take a video. Okay, write 10 sentences using usually, and then take a video after reading. Okay, so that's all for your activity today.